We got us a brand new ranch, brand new piece of property. The problem that we have is we don't know what's on here. What we do know is that's not here is food. So we got some big plans for food plots and stuff coming up, and it's just gonna take time, and it'll come in time. We'll get some really nice Whitetail Institute food plots going. But for right now, we wanna know what's on here and how big and what we're working with. So to get some inventory, use a feeder.
These Boss Buck feeders could be your best silent partner when it comes to trying to figure out a brand new and especially an undeveloped piece of property like this.
So this particular ranch, for instance, we don't know anything about the deer habits or what their routines are on this property just yet. But with the use of some Primos Truth cameras and these Boss Buck feeders, we were able to sit back, look at all the pictures from over the season, and figure out that it seems like most of our mature deer are leaving the property early in the year, but they're coming back late. So December rolled around, we hit the woods. It's late season. We're going from tree stands back to blinds because it's cold. The rest of the week, it's only going to get colder. In fact, we're going to have temperatures in the teens. So we're loading up with the scent lock, putting on all the stuff we can stand, but I've still got to be able to pull the bow back, right, and get good and anchored. So I can't put on so much that I could tough it out in a tree stand at 15 degrees. We're in northeast Oklahoma. There's not an ag field for miles. It's gonna be tough, but we're up for it, aren't you, Dustin? Good. Don't let that hurt you now. That thing's deadly, I'm telling you. Hopefully we put a ram cat to work. Obviously this is gonna be away from home for the next few hours, maybe a couple of days. But I wanna show you why we did this. Everybody always asks us to show more about why we do certain things. So I wanna show you why this blind is sitting right here in the middle of this 1,000-acre ranch. At first glance, especially from back there, it just looks like the rest of the woods. But some scouting several weeks ago, got off the four-wheelers, got off the Viking, and put some boot leather on the ground, and we did some walking and found some places. And I want you to look behind this blind. Come here. This is a rock cliff right here, all the way around behind us. Can you see that, Dusty, in the camera?
Yeah.
It is a rock drop-off. I don't know if a guy with climbing gear could climb it. And this rock cliff goes all the way around, makes a bend right here, and it shallows out, it peters out right over here, and that's the only spot within 3/4 of a mile, because we walked it, where a deer, a four-legged animal, could, with the hooves, could cross this rock cliff. Is right up here. So we scooted the blind right here to the edge. No deer's gonna come from behind us. That's east. So any westerly wind, any straight north or straight south, is going to work for this blind, because these deer, if they want to go out to this big hay meadow or these big acorn flats up here to our right, up here to the north, they got to cross that rock gap right there and walk right in front of us within range. I hope you brought your big mittens, buddy, because it is freezing. I think they just said on the news that it was, the wind chill was like 16 degrees this morning. Actual temperatures 22, 23 or something like that. This is our first morning of our first hunt, late season hunt on our own ranch. Good thing we got here an hour before daylight, because we've got about an hour of daylight left. And we've seen 2 deer. I'm sure the deer are on their feet somewhere. They just didn't come up this bottom today. Maybe the last hour will be the magical time, like usual. We know that deer very well. Got a bunch of pictures of him. He's gonna be a rock star next year.
One thing we knew coming into this week, the game plan was going to have to be check cameras and be willing to move. So we checked some cameras and we need to make a move. We checked a camera that's on a travel route and it got some really good deer using it. It's just going to depend on whether or not they come through in daylight.
New spot, new set of rules. It's real rough, rocky hillside here and just covered in timber. And these deer seem to like to come up straight here in front of us, but there's a little drain here that goes way down to the bottom. And I mean, from where I'm looking way downhill here. And hopefully these deer continue what they've been doing and they've come up this drain. That's the plan anyway. We'll see if they stick to it.
I'd say you made the right move.
Look, I mean, we were just as shocked, pleasantly surprised, I should say, that the very first night we sat in this blind, there's one of the deer that I'm looking for. We nicknamed this deer Pretty Boy because it's just perfect 8-pointer. The only problem is he just didn't get within bow range before dark. We got really so close last night. The buck came in, one of the 2 that we really want to shoot, and we just ran out of camera light. I mean, that's all there is to it. The only wind we can't hunt that blind with, where we have all these pictures of these shooters, is a straight south wind. Today, it's straight out of the south. So, no worries. We got doe tags in our pockets. It's getting late in the season. I want to put some doe meat in the freezer anyway, so we're going to a different blind this morning. Never know what might show up there. As far as we might see a big old buck, who knows? But we'll save our best spot for when the wind is right. This morning, shame on you if you're doe.
See, you know what happens when you go out just to shoot a doe, right?
Yep.
And it happened, didn't it?
Yep.
There's that big deer right there. I have a bunch of pictures of that buck, but I have not seen the deer or had a picture of him since early November. Saw that deer on the hoof one time with my own eyes, and it was in the headlights of my truck and pulling out of the ranch one night after hunting back in November. Other than that, the deer has lived in trail camera photos, just like the buck we saw last night. Have never laid eyes on him, have a million pictures of him. They're like freaking ghosts, man.
I knew as soon as the word, I'm gonna kill a doe, came out of your mouth, that was gonna happen.
And to make the ridiculous scenario worse, we didn't even see a freaking doe. I mean, who thought this was a good place to go kill a doe? It was a good place to go kill a doe.
Clearly it wasn't.
But hey, look, the weather, we have a massive weather front coming, and things are going to change, and we're going to move again.
This huge major weather front is coming in today. By dark, it's supposed to be 16 or 12 degrees. Yeah, it's going to drop, and it's going to go down to single digits. It's not just going to get cold, it's going to get freezing. And we got snow coming, and this big weather system is just to the northwest of us. God willing, these cold temperatures will get them on their feet before too long, so we don't have to sit there when it gets 1 degree. The Camo Michelin Man. There was 2 bucks. I could only see one. And the one I was looking at cowered down at the other one. I could not see the other one's head. It could be the boy we're looking for. Big sucker, good grief. I didn't look that big when I shot him. He's gonna be frozen pork chops. But we got something to show for sitting in the cold all day. These pigs kind of screwed our deer hunt up. So we'll just take one of them home. We got a little change up today, as if this week hadn't been kind of tough on us already. I'm not complaining, it's late season. It's cold weather and odd deer movement is the name of the game. So you gotta just stick with it. But anyway, well, here in Oklahoma, they have what they call a holiday doe or holiday antlerless gun season. And that starts today. So we're still bow hunting. So the law requires that we wear at least an orange hat or vest. So we're going with the old orange IO hat. And I guess we're just tucked back in that blind a little bit tighter today, make sure they don't see anything. They're kind of spooky. Last couple of deer we've seen been kind of spooky, but it is what it is. It is -11 wind chill out there. So I'm putting on everything I got, including my orange hat. We'll go try this again. Oh, that's a buck. That's a big man behind her. He's coming right to us. You're good right there.
Yeah, kill him.
Dead deer.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's big, man. We're in a rifle season, so I gotta wear this orange, but it's too cold enough to wear my stocking cap. The big man, we call him Big Man. And the other one, Pretty Boy. But he's beautiful to me. This is our first year on our new ranch, and we need help with a name. But I'm gonna call it Flying Time Ranch because time flies when you're having fun, and we always have fun when we're out here. Even though this week took a long time in the cold. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Let's go look at my buck. I've been waiting to say that all week, man. It's a walk we've been wanting to take. Here's our setup, man. Got it all brushed in there, and a ramcat just flew out of it. Look at that. There's my knock right there. Still lit. He is laying out the red carpet. Look at that thing laying there. How about that for a Sooner buck? That's a fine Oklahoma whitetail, buddy. On Flying Time Ranch. Look at that. Beautiful buck. What an incredible way to end my season. Because it has been an incredible year, man. What a cool buck. And we just worked our tails off for this thing. That's what's so satisfying about it. He's not a world record by any means, but he is a big deer, and I'm proud of him. Thank you, buddy. Alrighty then. Thank you, old boy. Let's go home where it's warm.
Couldn't think of a better way to end the first season on a brand new piece of property. But you know, we did our homework. We figured out the property, we figured out the deer patterns, and then most importantly, we figured out our age structure. We picked a good deer to go after, put a plan together, and it worked.
And this year is looking even better. Over the summer, we put in about 10 acres of Whitetail Institute food plots. We put in some extremes, some no plow, some chick magnet. We got annuals mixed in with perennials, and our deer head count just continues to rise.
We don't know anything yet about the way the deer movements are, or the habits, or their routines. Golly. We just got the keys to this ranch about 4 months before hunt season, before.
Like the batteries went dead. Before.
I hit a real thick patch of grass there, boy. What size deer and the age class of the deer we had on the property, we picked one and we stuck a plan to work. Son of a